Iran had a crash nuclear weapons program in the early 2000s, and a lot of information was known about that program, even by 2010, 2011, through basically through governments giving the International Atomic Energy Agency organization information, and they would publish it. And when I say known, I mean publicly. And so the outlines of their bomb design were known. And it's a spherical device. It works by you use high explosives to compress a core of weapon grade uranium, and once it's compressed, it's supercritical, and it'll be an atomic explosion. Very similar to what the United States did in the Trinity blast. I mean, what was talked about in the movie Oppenheimer. The Trinity device is that this metal ball of plutonium compressed a centimeter, the diameter on the radius compressed a centimeter. So it's noticeable. But once you reach that point of maximum compression, you need to inject some neutrons that will then start the fissioning of in the case of Iran, the uranium-235. In the case of Trinity, it was plutonium. And so you need to have a little thing called a neutron initiator, and Iran has developed one at the center that it puts in there. It's called a uranium deuteride neutron initiator, and that is actually ignited by the compression itself. So when I say they need 6 months for a crude device, what I'm saying is they've really done most of the work on learning how to make a nuclear weapon. They know how to make the parts. There's some testing, some testing they still need to do of the parts, but essentially they just need to make them, put them together, and then make the weapon grade uranium, turn it into a metal form and into a kind of hemispherical shapes, 2 hemispheres of weapon grade uranium metal, and then put it all together. How do we know even more is that Israel purloined a huge archive of their nuclear weapons program, Iran's nuclear weapons program, in 2018. And one of the things that's kind of scary about this situation is we talk about Iran can produce weapon grade uranium in days. It can produce enough weapon grade uranium for over a half dozen nuclear devices in a month. The thresholds for not acting because you're deterred may be very different than what we would construct.
If they attack Israel, the Israelis could take the advantage. The Israelis are in such euphoria that they can even attack the nuclear facilities of Iran. The Israelis, for sure, if Iran attack, will hit the oil refineries. We have to be very careful of having an impact on world economy. Therefore, there is a lot of anxiety, that it will become a regional war because it's going to impact our economies, among other things. The situation now with Iran as a nuclear power. The Israelis would hesitate to do things. And they don't have to bomb, we don't have to destroy everything. It's enough that we listen to the dynamic. They bomb the facilities. Oil price jumps to $200 a barrel. The world in panic. The world put pressure on Iran to disarm of the nuclear. And it makes sense. You see, and therefore they could do it. They don't have to destroy everything. I will be very surprised if the Israelis open a front against Iran. Mm-hmm. But if Iran acts, these are the Israelis' options: oil refineries and even nuclear. Mm-hmm. I can see Biden scared to death. The last thing he needs before November is a regional war. The last thing he needs is a regional war. But Netanyahu doesn't count him anymore.
The Iranian ballistic missile program is not as capable as was previously assumed. It's exposed great weaknesses in this program. It has also demonstrated that Khamenei has a fear of what the Israelis might do. As I said, the symbolic nature of this attack, again, like April, served more symbolic purposes than being practically meaningful. That's a huge gamble for Khamenei's regime, because not only have they miscalculated, this an inevitable Israeli retaliation is going to take place, but they've also exposed that their missile capability isn't as strong as previously thought. The regime's capability, rather, has been exposed. The vulnerabilities of that capability has been exposed. But also, he's revealed his hand that actually the three elements of the IRGC security doctrine, the militia network, the ballistic missile program, and the nuclear weapons program, aren't as strong as previously thought. And that really puts the Ayatollah in the corner. To put it in boxing terms, we're effectively waiting for the final right hook. Khamenei is on the ropes, and they are, at the moment, trying to calculate what to do next. And there are elements that we've yet to see.